what's up? Zach here, and these are my 5 favorite performance shoe modifications to maximize the performance and the fit of your favorite shoe. Let's get into it. And all these modifications, including countless others, can be found in my shoe customization lower leg taping ebook. And right now for Black Friday, we are having a deep, I keep saying I'll be having a deep discount on that ebook all week for Black Friday week. So you want to check that out, I'll leave it linked in the description below. And all of these modifications can be done at home with very simple equipment and usually done for under, $1 or $2, right? So, and they can be used in really any performance shoe from tennis to running, basketball, pickleball, volleyball, whatever. Some are better off in side-to-side sports like court sports. Others can be put in pretty much any shoe. And if there is materials needed, I will leave them linked in the description below. But let's get started with the first one, which I'm going to start from simple to most complicated. The simplest one, which also is kind of the most powerful one, can simply be done with a sheet of foam, and that is a tongue protector. Now, the 3 most common use cases for a tongue protector: number 1, heel slippage; number 2, lace irritation; number 3, bloody or cracked toenails. It is just a simple modification and it costs cents. But when applied appropriately, it is really powerful for all 3 of those issues. Now, the first thing you're gonna do is take some adhesive felt or adhesive foam. For this one, adhesive felt's a little better because it's just a little bit more durable. Like I said, you can buy them pre-cut. I found the pre-cut ones, the adhesive just isn't as good. It's just not as durable. So I always just get the sheets. Plus it costs so much less to do sheets, especially someone like me who's doing this a lot for people. Now, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is just get a pair of scissors, and really you're just gonna wanna cut a rectangle in these. That rectangle should take up maybe 1/3 of the tongue and take up about 2/3 of the width. It really just depends on the size shoe you have. You can mess with that by making it bigger or smaller. There's lots of different shapes and configurations you can check out. That's all in my book, and why those are good for certain people. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. For this one, I'm just gonna do a standard rectangle because that is the easiest and simplest. And all you're gonna do for this, I know this is shockingly difficult, but you're gonna take the tongue, flip it up, and you're gonna put it about 1/3 to halfway down that tongue. You want the center of that pad to be right where the last 2 laces will cross. That's typically where it's gonna do its most powerful work. Now, what that's gonna do is it's gonna stop your foot from jamming in the shoe. It's also gonna put a little more downward pressure on the foot for the heel counter. And then number 3, it's just gonna spread out the load from those laces, especially in a shoe with a really, really thin tongue. Now, typically, if you're playing a lot in them and sweating a lot in this is gonna last you, for a lot of people, they'll last, about a month, some, less. The thicker you make the pad and the more durable the felt, the longer it's gonna last. The thinner, more open air poured the foam is, if you just go for like a softer foam, yeah, it might be a little more plush and comfortable, but it's just not going to last as long. Like I said, typically that felted pad is usually what I go for, but you can use anything. You can also glue EVA onto there, or glue Pour-On, but this is just so much simpler, cheaper, more convenient. Now, the next modification is a runner's knot, and a lot of shoes will actually just have these built in. The New Balance 2-Ways I have right here, you can see they've got 2 laces kind of going backwards from the height of the ankle collar, from the height of the ankle of the shoe. And what you do there is you loop the lace back through it and then loop the free end of it around, and that pulls more surface area of that ankle across. That gives you better lockdown. Now, number 1, that's gonna give you less heel slippage, better lockdown, better feelings of contact with the shoe, just overall gives a better fit. Now, that's why the reason they call it a runner's knot is because so many running shoes are very low profile. The heel counter is really low. You kind of need it to hold yourself into the shoe. Otherwise, you'll be slapping outside the shoe. And for runners, you don't want heel slippage because you lose a lot of efficiency with your gait, but in other sports, you want it too. Now, the easiest way to poke one of these through is you can just take anything sharp, right, and just poke through the shoe. It's simple enough to do. The problem with that is you're gonna get fraying. The lace will eventually just end up pulling right through the fabric, and that's no good because then you've just ruined your shoe. But if you wanna go about it the right way, they actually do make these devices that will make you a runner's knot for you, and it'll impale a metal gasket around the eyelet. So it actually create an eyelet stay that'll actually last just as long as any other eyelet. Usually I put it on a 4.5 mine. You literally just put it into the shoe like this, and boom, That's really all it takes. It is just a super simple method. And then after you've poked your hole, you place the eyelet stay and you press on it and compress it. That gives you a runner's knot. Remember, you want to do it on both sides, try to make it equal. You could get some uneven, you could get some uneven wear there, just some uneven irritation of the ankle. So make sure you do measure it. Typically, I like to measure it like my pinky width, but it's going to be different for everybody. What is my pinky width? I'll just do it right now. That's going to be, yeah, about 1 centimeter. Back from the last eyelet, about 1 centimeter back. As you can see, that's kind of a ubiquitous thing, about 1 centimeter back on that runner's knot. It is gonna give you quite a bit more lockdown. Now, I will tell you on some shoes, they're not meant for a runner's knot, so if you put one back there, it might feel a little weird. Just make sure you need it, because on some shoes, you don't need them. Like the LeBron 21s and 22s, right? It comes up to a peak, you just don't, a lot of times you just don't need the runner's knot. Some people will, but like I said, if the shoe doesn't need it, don't go looking for things just to modify the shoe just for the sake of modifying it. If there's no problems, don't go looking for any, but if it does have some slippage issues, that's really your only problem, and if you try to do the tongue modification, that's not doing anything, then that's a nice option to go to next. Now, the third modification is called a reverse Morton's extension. It's basically a very small rectangular pad to offload the arch of the foot, or offload the inside of the ball of the foot. So if you've got any pain underneath of the big toe joint, pain underneath of the ball of the foot, or you just want a little bit more arch support without having to jack an orthotic up under there, this is a really good method to do it. What you want to do is first, you want to measure your foot. You want to take the insole of your shoe or the orthotic that you're using, and basically you're going to measure from just back from the ball of the foot to about the midpoint of the arch, right? The arch starts in the heel, goes all the way up and down the arch, and ends in the ball of the foot. So you want to be like just halfway at the arch. You're just going to mark that at those two areas. And then how far lateral or how far into the foot you want to make this pad really is kind of dealer's choice, and it also depends on the size of the foot. Mine I made here was almost 3 centimeters wide, so you can always just start there, because that's what I do. I'm a size 11 foot. You might be a little bit smaller. I make some of these for people that go really far, but as you go far into the lateral column or the outside column of the foot, it's going to start to get really irritated. So I wouldn't put it past the midline of your foot. I'd say that's kind of the Rubicon there. Now you just want to stick this either on the generic insole of the shoe, or they're actually more powerful when you put them on an orthotic, because it already has some arch support on there. And you basically want to put it on the down slope of the arch right here. So here's the down slope, and that pad, as you can see, kind of fits there perfectly on the down slope of that arch. Now, another modification to this is to put it underneath of the arch, and that's gonna make the arch of your orthotic last a little bit longer, especially in an over-the-counter. Maybe say you got a little more flexible over-the-counter orthotic, you can always put that foam underneath of the arch, because that's just gonna give you a little bit more durability. That's a little bit we call an arch backfill. When you put it underneath of the arch, you wanna push it back a little bit further, because that's gonna give you more durability of the arch, but when it's on top, you're gonna put it down for, like I said, on the down slope. And that's gonna, number one, offload the ball of your foot. So things like big toe arthritis, sesamoiditis, things like that, right, are gonna really help. And it's gonna help offload the middle column of the foot, where you can get things like neuromas, ball of foot pain, post-stress fractures, things like that. It's such an easy little stupid modification. It's the same foam you used in the first one, right? And you can make this however thick you want it, right? These foams come in, usually 4 or 5 types of thicknesses. This one here is about 1/2 centimeter thick. I have them up to about 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters of felted foam. And so I start with that 1/2 centimeter. I think that's good. Then you can always go up if you want more. But once again, such a powerful modification. If you put them underneath of the orthotic, they're gonna last quite a bit. If you put them on top, expect these to last about 3 weeks to a month. Now, the fourth modification is called containment webbing, and that's where you take just moleskin strips and you end up basket weaving or pie crusting them inside the lateral side of the shoe. Now, these can go all the way across the shoe. They can just go to the lateral side. You can just do little parts of the shoe. And I did this for the Jaw 3 recently in a video, and actually got a lot of interesting comments on it. People said, like, I shouldn't need to do this for a shoe. It should just be made as containing as I need it. The thing is shoes, there's a spectrum, right? You've got maximalist, really containing shoes. You have more speed focused shoes, more nimble shoes, lightweight. And if you want to add some more elements of containment to a shoe that might be a little bit more flimsy and floppy, you like that for its flexibility and its speed and just kind of its lightweight nature, but just want to add a little bit of containment, that containment webbing does really, really well. You just basically weave it all the way through as much as you want. Usually I just do it on the lateral side. I put that underneath of the insert of the shoe so you don't feel all that moleskin. You will end up just pounding it down. You won't feel it after a few times. This will last anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, kind of depending on, you know, if the shoe is dry when you do it, how much shearing you do in the shoe, that kind of thing. So it is just it's very lightweight, doesn't really add a lot of weight to the shoe, doesn't add a lot of bulk to the shoe either, but it is a nice way to up the containment, especially if you just want it in a little certain area, like you just feel a little bit of that area of that shoe just feeling floppy. You can add a little bit of a pie crust there on the inside of the shoe just to get a little bit more of a restrictive netting on the inside of that shoe. And the last modification, like I said, these were going from simple to more complex. The last modification, I know it's gonna sound like a cop-out, is orthotics. And the reason I say they're so complicated is everyone is so different, right? I've done a lot of videos on orthotics and everybody's got a different opinion of them. And a lot of people think that they have the exact right answer to orthotics. There is a reason why all the literature on orthotics is so up and down. Hey, do customs work better than over the counters? Do orthotics do what they say they're gonna do? Because a lot of people, you know, claim things orthotics can do, they really can't. What you can't deny though is looking at a shoe and seeing how flat the shoe is, right? And how there's no arch on most shoes. Some of them have a little bit of an arch, you can tell. They'll maybe a little bit one, but those ones will compress down. Usually are just foam unless there's a top-loaded molded shank. But the thing with the shoe is trying to make that arch match most people is gonna be really, really hard. That's why most shoes are pretty flat under there. And what that orthotic is gonna do is it's gonna bring the ground up to your foot and it's gonna even out that gait so that you're using all of the muscles in your foot and leg as they were intended, right? So if you have a deformity, and let's say you over-supinate, right? You're supposed to supinate, you're supposed to pronate. Let's say you over-supinate, and you're just overutilizing that peroneus longus muscle, that muscle that goes underneath, pulls down the arch of your foot. What that's gonna do is when you're walking, running, playing, whatever, you're gonna overutilize that muscle and you're gonna underutilize others. You put an orthotic in there, correct some of the biomechanics, now all of a sudden you're activating more muscles more evenly. And so that's what prevents some of those chronic repetitive injuries, because you're not just overutilizing one muscle or utilizing another in an abnormal way. That orthotic, it's almost like airbrushing for your gait. It just allows you to use all those muscles very evenly. So the thing is, should you get an over the counter? Should you get a custom? The literature it's equivocal, right? There is a reason why I do so much work with over-the-counter orthotic companies, Power Step, because the literature has said that there's no distinct evidence that a custom orthotic is going to do better than over-the-counter. Now, just common sense would tell you if the orthotic is built to the specs of your own foot, it's gonna do a little bit better. You look at most professional athletes, they do have custom orthotics, although a lot of them do not. A lot of them do have over the counters that do just fine. That's because everybody is just different. And to see what's right for you, probably should talk to a doctor that knows what they're talking about this stuff, because they can steer you in the right direction. I can't tell you how many people that come in my office that I say, you absolutely need a custom orthotic. Other people will say, why are you wasting your money? You know, it's different. Everyone's on a spectrum. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Which one of these have you tried? Do you have any modifications I haven't gone over you'd like to see kind of put in a video, or just ideas you have for other people? Put them in the comments down below. And if you do want to see the whole range of shoe customizations that are out there, all of them, like I said, most of them are under $1 that you can do. Make sure you check out my comprehensive ebook by clicking down below. And if you do want to see what I'm talking about with all the kind of issues in the Jaw 3 and how I use containment webbing and some other things, kind of bring them up to a little bit more of a performance level, make sure you click into this video right here. I'll see you in the next video.